Good evening, my fellow Union Arena enjoyers. My name is Orlando, and this is Local Deck Testing, the series where I take to local some of your favorite decks. We're gonna run it through a 3 to 4 round tournament in hopes to show you what the deck can do. And for tonight's episode, let's talk about Yellow Gojo. Now, unfortunately for our GOAT, this deck in Asia historically didn't do very well, and because of that, there's little to no topping lists I can look at. Even with set 2 out, the deck itself stays around tier 2.5. Sad to say, our GOAT is washed, but that's not if I can't do anything about it. Now let me ask you this, are you the strongest because you're trying to play Yellow Gojo, or are you playing Yellow Gojo because you're the strongest? And if you played against Blue Sukuna, would you lose?
Gatsa.
Presenting to you, Gojo Control. As always, I'll give you a background on deck and then I'll do the card by card. But first, this video is powered by Xburst. Xburst is an online deck building tool for Union Arena. It's got all the cards you need to build decks for both Asian and North American regions. It's even got an export button so you can print proxies and test your decks on Tabletop Simulator. Not to mention, they've got an entire gallery of public deck lists, so you can see what people are coming up with and show off what you can do. And if you don't want to, you could always just set your list to private. So come and check out Xburst at exburst.dev and make sure to join the Discord link in the description below. So let's get back to the video. People are always splashing Gojo into other decks such as Megumi and Nobara. However, I like it pure control. Other players like relying on the side engines to have an aggressive start, but at that point, Gojo stops becoming the focal point of the deck. Although I understand, you gotta run Gojo. That being said, my specific build is more on the control side of things. To start, we're playing 4 copies of Maki, 4 Pandas, and 3 Sumiki Fushiguros. Maki is an active trigger and Panda has step. And then we're playing Sumiki for the draw trigger. For our 1-drops, we're playing 4 copies of Toge Inumaki. This card is very good when it comes to defending. When sideline, you choose up to 1 character your opponent's front line and then switch it to resting. This essentially makes it so Toge blocks 2 for 1. Then we're playing 4 copies of the 2-1 Inumaki. This card has Nullify Impact, which is very useful for the late games when they start getting impacts up, and also the second effect where you can pay 1 AP during your main, all your characters in your front line gain 1000 BP until the end of the turn. Now this is very useful if you have multiple Toges or sitting on 3Ks in the front line. For our other 2-drops, we're playing 2 copies of Maki Zenin. I don't really have to explain this, do I? Onto our 3-drops, we're playing 4 copies of Panda. He's got step, an active trigger, and he generates 2 energy. It's practically Basho. Then for our 4-drops, we're playing 4 of the color Gojo. He's got double block, and he has targeting protection. Then our only raids, Panda. He's useful when you play him as vanilla, because he's got step, but when you raid him, he gets double block and impact 1. Also, he gains 1000 BP. Really makes him one of the most powerful raids that we currently have. However, he's got a get trigger, so unfortunately you can't jump scare your opponents when you rip him off of life. Last but not least, our 6-2 Gojo. He's a 5k impact 1, and when you play him, you draw a card, then reduce the AP cost of the next card you play from your hand by 1, except for Gojo. Then for our events and sites, we're playing 2 red, 4 domain expansions, and 4 hollow purple. Now the special and the final triggers kind of explain themselves, but red is a little bit different. This chooses 1 character with 4000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and then moves it to their energy line. This means if they flooded the board and they have a bunch of 2-gens on the back row, you can absolutely punish them by shoving one of their characters to the back. Now for some decks, this is a huge tempo loss, especially if they have 4 back row and just 2 guys up front. Shoving something in the back can just absolutely break everything. Hollow purple is a little bit unique. It's not just removal, it literally removes them from the front line. No, not sideline, remove them. And I know the 5-2 is a little bit daunting, but if you have Gojo in the field, the card's AP cost is reduced by 1. And if you play the 6-2 Gojo and then into this, it's basically free, because it's reduced by 2. And for the final card in the deck, we are playing 3 copies of Unlimited Void. When played, you just choose up to 1 character in your opponent's front line and then switch it to resting. It doesn't switch to active during the start and end phases while this side is on your field. However, at the end of each attack phase, if Gojo is not on your front lane, you have to sack this card. And that makes it really rough if you're actually using this as an energy provider. Because if you only have the 6-2 Gojo on field and it gets removed, suddenly you're losing an energy. Maybe even 2. Another caveat with this deck, it's not like Toshiro where it's like a permafreeze until the end of the next battle phase. If someone hits an active trigger while it's rested by the Unlimited Void, it will restand. However, if they attack or block with it, it stays tapped. So that's everything about the deck, let's get right into the games. For our first match, we're playing against Nanami. Now this matchup is fairly even, considering that Nanami takes forever to set up. This buys you a lot of turns to draw into a Gojo. Maki, Sumiki, go ahead.
Draw for turn. Tap to draw. Tap. Economy. Pass.
Move. And Indomaki. We'll go 500 top life. Go ahead.
Draw for turn. Tap 1 for another Nanami. Tap 2. Maki. Tap last.
I can see what you're doing. It's not gonna work. Go ahead, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Discard 2. Discard Slaughter Demon. Discard.
These are 4
Pass.
CP draw.
Play a 3 cost, rested, it has no effect.
1 for Toge and then another for Panda.
It
We'll go
doesn't-
500.
Since I have a totem on the field,
No one played.
yeah.
I guess, dude.
Yeah.
Active plus
You have a dog in here.
2K. Alright, go ahead. This is the most valuable Sumiki I've ever played. Let's go!
We'll start the turn with a Navara in the back.
Yep.
Draw 1, discard. Discard Nanami. We will tap 1 for the domain.
Yep.
We'll tap 1 for Nanami in front.
Yep.
Tap 2. Yuji Raid. Take back the Toge. And we'll tap last for
It's like you bound that game.
Nanami.
Yep.
4.
Walk one of them. Oh, hit. This one? Yep.
Pass.
Draw. Go Panda. Go good. Go main expansion.
Doge.
Draw.
I feel much higher than I really
We'll
do.
free play a domain expansion.
Ooh. Go ham. That one.
Purple to Yuji.
Yep.
And then we'll red the Nanami.
It pushes back and
Yeah.
then
It gets removed, yeah. The Yuji also gets removed because this is a purple zone removal, yeah. I don't want to see that purple too.
I know, isn't that
Step 1 ratio. Bottom of the deck.
I know, that's what I was like, I don't want to give that to you. I can't
We'll
blame you guys
tap
for
for unrated UG. Tap for Nanami Raid.
Yep.
Go to combat 4K.
Take that. Plus 3.
Oof.
Pass. Unless you have less than 15 ball.
No, I'm not there yet.
Draw.
I'm not even close yet.
AP draw.
5, 9.
Move this. Maki. We're at losing blues. That's fine. Effect boost. Effect boost. Okay.
Ball, okay.
Okay.
Oh, she's right. Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
This is good.
Go ahead.
Opportunity.
Oh, you can cap it.
Ratio.
Bottom. Yep.
Not there yet, but we'll go 4K. Please no actives. 4K. 5. Yeah. And then we'll do 4K. This one? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah, pass.
Oh, one movement. Unlimited void with the money. Okay. Don't get expansion. You make it. I don't have the void. We'll purple the only one. Oh, got it. Okay. This one. Active. I can't unsuspend. Oh no, I can unsuspend.
That's unreal.
That's the best. Let's go. 2K. What? 2K. What? Yeah, go ahead. Woo! Trophy turn. We need a. Oh. We will tap the slaughter demon. 2K. Go hard. Okay, we'll go 3K minus 1,000 on the tailgate.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I'll take that one. Color? Freeze this.
Better. 4K.
Yeah, like it does not even have to be
Oh my god.
80 droppers.
Or +1. Yeah, make it. Okay. No matter what, I have to take it.
Yeah.
Not
Oh.
bad. Dude.
Oh my god. I thought I had it and then he hit the active.
Yeah.
Purple, yeah.
I drew into the second domain.
I see.
I was like, it's a little too late
Yeah.
with the Nanami.
And for our second match, we are playing against Shikigamis. As a control deck, this is one of the most terrifying things you can play against. Aggro. But that's okay. As a control player, you should know that your life points doesn't matter till your very last. Although because of the nature of this game, dropping to 1 life is still extremely dangerous. Just remember, dying to win and risking death to win are completely different.
Maki into Maki, swing 2K, let's take this one. Go ahead.
So, what I can do with them is I can every time I drop on my own static something, I get a discard 3 and then just go right and active.
Sneaky plus 1K.
Is it for an official set? That's a little bit. I think that's such a dumb rule.
Cannot pull anything. Still can play character.
Alright, go ahead.
Swing 2K.
Okay.
Top. Gonna give this 500. Okay.
Take it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's kind of, it's got to be.
Oh. Rice. And then a movement. Gojo, go ahead.
No,
This one can't be targeted and stuff, right?
You have to pay 1 extra to target it.
I did just give everybody 1K.
Yep.
3K.
35
Oh,
trigger.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Respend.
The other way. Where's the other way?
Give him another 5, so 5K.
So I'm going to have to monitor first.
45.
I'll take that one.
She has to block.
Special the last one.
Yes. It has to be the first block. That's one. Okay, I will block that
Move 1. Just 1. Gojo. Gojo.
Oh, Jesus. And then you're giving her the.
I played it from the back.
Oh, my fault. Sorry.
Avoid this.
Oh my god.
It's just wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
5.
5.
Go ahead.
Yep.
And then the base. It's a swap. It's not a bounce or a side.
Oh, get a fucking demo.
Yeah. Fuck it. 45.
I'll take that one. Active. Or plus.
I am actually, my friend.
Go ahead.
4K double damage. 4K. Up down.
AP draw. One goes through. 35.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Reveal the hand. We're out of hand. 1K. 4K. Oops, sorry.
I'll pick that one. Block out.
Yeah, so 5K.
From right to left, yeah. Cool.
And then I'm like, that's what I guess it was.
I drew the win condition. Domain.
Nice. Didn't work.
Free play. And then we will red the mezzanine. That was the only condition. I'm like, I have to draw domain extension. 35.
Oh, yeah.
Five cards in hand still, about to be 6. Block, trigger when sideline rest.
Is it just one turn run?
Yeah, just for the turn. AP drop. Confirmation by 1. 6 game attack. This one.
He's a bullet lobbing.
Yeah. 4 game attack. I'll check. That's huge. I think I'm just going 45. No, dude, not like this. And an overraid.
Trigger 1 AP for this, trigger 1 AP for this. So everyone gets 1K, they still get 2K. So 55.
Fuck, come on. Oh my god. I was doing so good.
You did do that one turn where you're like my win card. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I was looking at my
I was
life.
holding 2 Gojos in my head. I'm like, if I drop the first Gojo and draw into domain expansion, we are so ballin'.
For our third and final match, we're playing against Blue Good Stuff. It's got a mix of everything, Yuji, Nanami, Sukuna. However, this matchup plays just like the first one, so there's not really much to talk about.
I understand.
AP draw. Okay, that's even better. Monkey, go ahead.
The recommendation is someone that left. They said, oh yeah, this needs to be cool, right? But he wasn't cool at all, man.
We'll go Maki into Maki. Go ahead.
That card is so
What, that look at back there?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're free, and you get the free again.
We'll go Maki into
Yeah, but have a.
Panda.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Then we'll play another total mark. Let's swing for 2. Go ahead.
Feel less.
I'll take it.
What other type of movie? Got a hat.
This one? Plus 2. Gojo trigger for a card. Next one is reduced by 1 dormant expansion. And then we'll go Gojo again for 1. Next one is free, so we'll go Panda. For 1, let's do 4K impact. What was it?
Yuji.
2K. Alright, go ahead.
AP drift.
Well, I guess 2.
Block with the fire.
I'll take that one. Special evil, special. Just KOs.
So,
Yep. Into Unlimited Void. We'll rest this enemy, and then we'll use Inamaki effect to pump everything by 1K.
okay.
So here's 6K impact. Next one. 3K. Next one. Yep. Go ahead.
Drop the drift.
It doesn't matter, even though that's the ideal setup. I don't like me personally.
Freeze up with dropping a little near in the background. I don't think I ever had 4 bodies. I also didn't even see one of these don't do it. Thinking you were gonna go Colgate and Chimera Shadow Garden.
I have a sideline trigger. We'll rest the EG.
I was so scared you were gonna do that. I'm like, you had to buy with everything.
Dude, that energy change really fucked up my
I know.
That fucked it up.
So good.
Because I had nothing else.
So it's still rested?
Yeah.
Because it's on the field?
Yeah, because
okay.
Nothing until second last turn. I
AP draw.
movement.
That's unfortunate.
I know, I was running.
Brother was playing yesterday,
Because I was
and
doing
the
the bar.
thing is, Alejandro's yellow Megami, and he's like, fuck, dude, I'm just losing, dude, so bad.
I didn't see second. I didn't
Raise
see
the panda. And then we'll do 4K impact.
And then you think it's high, but it doesn't show. You think it's high, but it shows up like this. Also, if I would have hit one,
I mean, right. And then survived it with the other card.
5K impact.
Dude, what was the one of the silvers? I put 15 zeros in the deck.
and I barely, I didn't even get enough life. To be fair, you're playing 60 cards.
So this can restand off.
60.
But the next time you would attack or block, it stays rested.
Okay, 12
Okay.
zeros in a 50 card set versus 15 zeros in a 60 card. There's a big mathematical difference. 20 to 25. That's still a pretty 5% in the half. We wouldn't just get better on one
Alright, go ahead.
Draw.
Well, no. I think people also
Take the
I
draw.
think that's what makes it so good. That's what I was I don't think so.
You need that one?
Like, I give you that good price.
Or even
And
like
I
the,
still need to go
or even
I have to hit a trigger here, basically.
Yes, the fucking thing. I love it. He adds to him. No. It doesn't even matter. Go ahead. So you can
You don't have to.
because like even like, so even
I'll
like
take that one.
Whoa.
I'm trying to get something here.
Oh, shit.
so yeah, that's why I'm like hesitant about playing that deck.
Come on.
It's good, but
Color.
it's so
We'll rest the UG.
you don't have enough.
Yeah, I think I want to play. I'm gonna try a Sukuna package.
Somebody tried that once.
Go ahead. If you're just gonna block it, it's gonna go.
This is still
But it
frozen
was
until
like,
the next time
it was
with
like,
until basically. So these guys are still active. AP draw?
Yeah, well, I'm saying people are awesome because you can play. I don't know. That other dude,
We got enough to go to the next level, but it's like.
And then we will hollow purple.
Oh, remove that.
Yeah, when he puts the mask on, then he just.
Okay, so because he doesn't like
5 cans.
He's the kind of kid who you would take from high school and then.
Let's go! No way! Let's go! Kill that shit.
2K. And then you can pop over on it. Alright, go ahead.
I draw for turn.
Oh, I got banned up in that.
Okay, it's just all negative.
135 double D. Oh, I didn't move it. I didn't move it.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, it could be a domain expansion.
That's good.
So here's the deck, and I know I say this about every deck so far, but this build is really fun, albeit really annoying at times. So let's get into the pros and cons. First, the pros. Gojo brings a lot of incidental combo potential, as you've seen in the matches. Dropping a Gojo, then drawing into a domain expansion, playing it for free to drop a second Gojo is absolutely euphoric. Secondly, the deck is a breath of fresh air. We finally have a really good control deck. Sorry Quincy's, that deck is just really bad. Also, contrary to popular belief, I wouldn't really call Kurapika and Blue Bombers a control deck. Those play more like mid-range than anything. Then we've got the cons. The deck has no draw power and no searchers. This makes it incredibly difficult to churn through the deck and find Gojo. And in some games, you just won't see him at all, and that would basically cost you the match. Secondly, because Gojo is a 6-drop, it becomes incredibly difficult to get the proper energy setup. Especially if you start using the infinite voids, then you really can't afford to lose any Gojos up front, because a 1-for-1 trade might potentially turn into a 1-for-2, and at worst, a 1-for-3. All in all, the deck is very fun to play. Although the deck could be incredibly difficult to pilot, there will be a lot of cases where you have to take a lot of hits. In most games, you start clutching it when you're at 1 life when they're at 5. If you play Control in any other card game, then you'd know. Your life doesn't matter till your very last. Unless it's Union Arena, then try to stay at 2, cause God only knows when your opponent's gonna jump scare you with an impact. And as always, make sure to like the video if you liked it, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more Union Arena content just like this.